Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, right now there is a literal battle of ideas violently reshaping theoretical cosmology. It's this massive clash between infinite realities and one singular elegant origin story. Let's jump right in and explore the paradigm shift that is rewriting the birth of reality itself.
So let's start with a massive question. Is our universe just one bubble in an infinite cosmic ocean? Seriously, think about that. This is the question driving the wildest, most popular concept in modern physics over the last few decades, the multiverse. Are we alone? Or are we kind of just one tiny fraction of an eternally expanding structure?
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to push beyond the Big Bang, scale the levels of the multiverse, and dive into the anthropic principle. After that, we'll zoom right back into the new theories actively trying to dethrone the multiverse, looking at the Big Bounce, Stephen Hawking's final theory, and finally, how we are testing our cosmic origins.
All right, Section 1, Beyond the Big Bang and the Limits of Our Cosmic Origin Story. To even understand where the multiverse idea came from, we first have to look at the accepted Big Bang theory and that incredibly bizarre phase that immediately followed it.
That phase is called inflation. Early pioneers of this theory, like Paul Steinhardt and Alexander Vilenkin, realized something crazy. This rapid, exponential expansion of the early universe wouldn't just end everywhere at once. It would actually go on eternally. So as the initial explosive energy cools, inflation stops in some regions, like ours, forming a hot bubble of matter and radiation. But the space between these regions, it keeps expanding faster than light, continuously spawning new, isolated pocket universes, basically forever.
Let's put this scale into perspective. 14 billion light-years. That is the radius of our observable universe. Literally everything we can possibly see. But eternal inflation suggests this mind-boggling distance is just one tiny patch. We're talking about a single bubble and a sprawling, infinite fractal of other universes being generated constantly, forever out of our reach. Wild, right?
Which brings us to Section 2, Levels of the Multiverse, and Max Tegmark's 4 tiers of reality. Let's explore the full, mind-bending implications of this eternal expansion.
Max Tegmark actually categorizes this whole madness into 4 levels. Level 1 is an infinite expanse of universes exactly like ours. Level 2 features bubbles with totally different physics. Level 3 brings in the many worlds of quantum mechanics. And Level 4 is the mathematical universe, where reality itself is just pure math. In Level 4, we're kind of just the frogs living inside the equations, while a bird, looking from the outside, would just see the ultimate mathematical structure.
Now, Level 3 is super interesting because it's the many worlds interpretation. This means every quantum event actually splits the universe. It's the ultimate Schrödinger's cat scenario. Think about it. Every choice you make, even what you had for breakfast today, literally spawns an alternate physical reality where you chose differently. The wave function never actually collapses. The universe just branches out.
To really grasp Level 2, think of a fish in a bowl. The fish thinks liquid water is just empty space, completely unaware that ice or steam even exist. Similarly, our empty space might just be one phase. String theory predicts there are roughly 10 to the power of 500 possible phases of space. So in a Level 2 multiverse, different pockets could have entirely different particles, different laws of physics, the whole shebang.
Moving on to Section 3, the anthropic principle. Why are we here to see this? This is the philosophical glue that attempts to hold this whole chaotic multiverse theory together.
I think, therefore the world is such as it is. This clever spin on Descartes perfectly grounds the anthropic principle. You see, when physicists measure the universe, they find that if the strong nuclear force or the weak interaction were even slightly different, stars wouldn't form, carbon wouldn't exist, life would be absolutely impossible. So out of infinite universes, with every possible variation, we obviously inhabit the one fine-tuned for life. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here to talk about it.
This is known as the observation selection effect. Basically, the fine-tuning of our universe isn't necessarily some miraculous design. It's really just a selection bias. If a vast, chaotic multiverse actually exists, we're just the lucky ones sitting in the Goldilocks bubble, simply because we physically couldn't exist in the dead ones to observe them.
But just when your mind is sufficiently blown, it's time to pull the rug out. Section 4, the Big Bounce Alternative. This is the fierce pushback against the multiverse, and honestly, a massive scientific plot twist.
Here's the contrast. On one side, eternal inflation gives us this unpredictable infinite fractal where anything that can happen absolutely does happen. On the other side, we have the Big Bounce, which proposes a single universe smoothly connecting periods of contraction and expansion. And here is the crazy twist. Paul Steinhardt, literally one of the founding fathers of inflation theory, is now its biggest critic. He champions the Big Bounce because his simulations show that a period of slow contraction naturally resolves the origin of our universe without relying on the messy, untestable infinity of a multiverse.
That leads us right into Section 5, Hawking's final theory and collapsing the infinite fractal. It's time to bring in the heavy hitter, Stephen Hawking, and the final paper he published before he passed away.
Hawking and his co-author Thomas Hertog realized that eternal inflation was fundamentally flawed. Why? Because under the extreme, violent conditions of the early universe, Einstein's classical laws of gravity and quantum mechanics violently clash. The math literally falls apart. This means the eternal inflation model breaks its own rules by treating the background universe classically while just kind of throwing quantum fluctuations on top of it.
Hawking's conclusion was totally definitive. He said, "We predict that our universe on the largest scales is reasonably smooth and globally finite. By projecting time backward using a variation of the holographic principle, they mathematically reduced the universe's beginning to a timeless, finite state." So to Hawking, the infinite fractal multiverse was a myth. The universe is actually far simpler and finitely bounded.
So with all these brilliant minds clashing, who's actually right? Let's get into Section 6, testing our cosmic origins. We're finally leaving the whiteboard behind and entering the era of precision cosmology.
This is where it gets real. Cutting-edge research from the University of Waterloo in March 2026 offers a huge breakthrough. Using a framework called quadratic quantum gravity, scientists showed that rapid early universe expansion happens naturally. No patched-together theories or eternal inflation required. It offers a simpler, unified cosmic model that stays perfectly stable even at the unimaginably high energies of the Big Bang. It's a real game-changer.
We are finally moving past pure theory and testing these origin stories. The Waterloo quantum gravity model predicts specific levels of primordial gravitational waves that we can actually spot with next-generation detectors. Meanwhile, Hawking and Hertog's globally finite structure could be verified by space-based gravitational wave detectors like LISA, along with deep studies of the cosmic microwave background. The theories are finally meeting real-world data.
We are right on the edge of finding these cosmic fingerprints. So I want to leave you with this really profound question to ponder. If our future detectors find the signature of a bounce rather than an infinitely inflating multi-universe, will it mean our universe has no true beginning and no end? The answer to that will completely rewrite humanity's place in the cosmos. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer through the origin of our reality. Keep looking up and keep questioning.